We're halfway into 2022, and what a great year for movies is already shaping up to be. With the worst of the pandemic now hopefully behind us, we are starting to see more movies light the box office on fire. We've had a number of critical darlings sprinkled among the bunch, not to mention a few stinkers and unintentional meme generators. But out of all the movies we've gotten in 2022 thus far, these are the 10 I would place at the very top of the pile. Hi guys, Michael Abayemi here, and today, I'm counting down my top 10 movies for 2022 so far. We're kicking things off with the Sean Levy-directed science fiction film, The Adam Project, which finally made its debut on Netflix after a lengthy development that saw its starring role go from Tom Cruise to Ryan Reynolds. And while the film could be considered yet another vehicle for the comedic actor to do what he does best, it was actually his co-star, Walker Scobell, who proved to be its standout. He plays the young version of the titular Adam, who gets swept into a Spielbergian time travel adventure during an unexpected visit from his future self. After the backlash suffered by Paramount Pictures following its initial reveal of Sonic the Hedgehog, the company had managed to right the ship and do right by fans with a Sonic movie that was both funny and true to the source material. So it was only a matter of time before we got a sequel to the beloved video game adaptation. This time around, Sonic is joined by Tails, as he once again faces off against the nefarious Dr. Robotnik, who has himself joined forces with the formidable echidna, Knuckles. Tony Red slots into the number 8 spot on my list of top 10 movies. The movie traces the experiences of a young Asian girl as she tries to balance her school life with her familiar obligations. And as though things weren't complicated enough, she also has to navigate the inherent messiness of adolescence while trying to get her newfound ability to turn into a giant red panda under control. The film marked the third straight Pixar release to skip theaters in favor of a Disney Plus debut, a streak that was finally broken by Lightyear a few months later. Few movies in the horror film genre are as masterfully crafted as X. Directed by T. West, the film tells the story of a group of adult filmmakers who take up shelter on a farm owned by an elderly couple. But unbeknownst to the small crew is the fact that there is a killer with an insatiable lust lurking around the farm. The film notably serves as a homage to classic slasher films like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a franchise that incidentally got a new entry earlier this year. But the less said about that other movie, the better. In a year that is already full of pleasant surprises, RRR might just be the biggest one of them all. The Bollywood film is as ambitious as they come, currently ranking as the most expensive Indian film ever made. And all that ambition shows in the form of its incredible production design and stunning visual effects, both of which give some of Hollywood's best a run for their money. But it's actually its endlessly engaging story, coupled with its ridiculously over-the-top stunts, that make it a must-see movie. This is Bollywood at its most excessive, and one of those films you simply have to see for yourself. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was one of my most anticipated films heading into 2022, so it should come as no surprise to find it on my list of top 10 movies. Following in the wake of last year's Spider-Man No Way Home, expectations were sky high heading into the film. And the movie didn't disappoint, serving as proof that the MCU still has room for directors with singular visions and signature styles. The film saw Scott Derrickson handing over directorial duties to Sam Raimi of Evil Dead fame, following creative differences. Apparently, he'd been gunning to make an even darker version of the film. And in a way, a part of me wonders what that other version of the film would have looked like, even though I'm perfectly happy with the one we got. Occupying the number 4 spot on my list is a film I didn't exactly have much faith or interest in when it was initially reviewed. That film is Top Gun Maverick, a sequel to the 1986 classic that helped bring Tom Cruise into the limelight. The rest is history now, as the movie had not only shattered my expectations, but also gone on to become the Hollywood star's most successful film to date, as it rose to the very top of the 2022 box office. Most of that is down to how well it's been resonating with moviegoers of all ages, so if you are yet to give it a watch, then let me implore you to do so in a theater while you still can. Another film that wasn't particularly high on my list of most anticipated movies for 2022 was The Northman. But you can consider me a convert to this artsy historical epic, after bearing witness to its splendor and majesty. Directed by Robert Eggers, the film serves as a retelling of the legend of Hamlet, a story that had itself served as the basis for William Shakespeare's Hamlet. It is a bloody revenge-filled story about a young Viking prince on a journey to right the wrongs that befell his family, with an acting ensemble that includes Alexander Skarsgård and Anya Taylor-Joy. The Batman comes just shy of topping my media list of top 10 movies at number 2. Much like 2019's Joker, the latest DC Comics adaptation exists outside of the established DCEU, giving Matt Reeves a totally blank canvas on which to paint his masterpiece. And so he decided to go back to the Caped Crusaders detective roots for his iteration of the character, resulting in a film that owes as much to film noir as it does the classic comics that helped establish Batman as the world's greatest detective. The film felt like it had a lot to prove, especially coming in the wake of Christopher Nolan's brilliant Dark Knight trilogy, and in one that manages to do so in its almost 3 hours of length. What else can I say about Everything Everywhere All at Once that I didn't already say in my review for the film? I could perhaps point out how it has since gone on to become the most successful film in A24's entire slate, or maybe say something about how the film has stayed in my mind many weeks after my initial viewing. For a film that defies classification, what it manages to accomplish is nothing short of remarkable. It has shown that you don't need a massive budget to make a competent science fiction film, or one that perfectly captures our existential crisis as we continue to ponder our place in the vastness of the cosmos. The film's greatest accomplishment, though, is how well it does all that without forgetting to still tell an engaging story, filled with action, gags, and heart. What are some of your favorite movies of 2022 so far? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed watching this countdown, and to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. And until the next one, this is Michael, signing off.